Hello YouTube, Scamp the Wolf here, back with another video for your viewing pleasure, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the new Architects album, The Sky, the Earth, and All Between, which came out recently, and yeah, I'm definitely going to talk about it here, and right off the bat, I do think this is a pretty good album. I think this is an improvement over their last album, The Classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit, which I thought was it was good, but it wasn't one of their best albums in my honest opinion. I definitely thought they had a lot of better material, um, especially with For Those That Wish to Exist and Holy Hell. I thought those two albums were really good. Holy Hell is probably my favorite of their discography, along with albums like All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us and Hollow Crown. I think those are really good albums. And yeah, this new one, The Sky, the Earth, and All Between, I feel like this album, they're really like trying to go for like a Bring Me the Horizon kind of thing, which isn't that bad, you know. I think they do that better than Bring Me the Horizon. And, like I think they've evolved a lot since um they've evolved since their inception. Obviously they started as mathcore kind of sorta, then they transitioned over to metalcore, like, and now they're kind of like a mishmash of different sounds now, especially on this album. You do hear a lot of that. You hear a lot of like hardcore elements. You do hear a lot of new metal elements in tracks like Whiplash, which is a heavy song, and then Everything Ends, which kind of sounds like a Linkin Park ballad or something like that. Like something like Numb or something like What I've Done or something like that. It kind of has that sound to it, which I definitely do appreciate, and Everything Ends is one of the best songs on this album for sure. I like the melody in that song, and I think Sam Carter really does a good job on this song with his vocal performance, and then everyone else in the band obviously does a lot of stuff. Um, there's a lot of like electronic sounds too, which isn't that big of a problem. Obviously, like it works on a lot of different tracks as connectors and stuff like that. I think like there are obviously a lot of like good elements here, and they kind of put that together in this album. Like once again, like not one of their best works. I feel like Holy Hell is where they really peak, but they're still doing a really good job, I think, on these songs, especially with tracks like Whiplash and Everything Ends. As I said, Black Hole is a really good song. I really think, especially towards when we get to the end of the album with tracks like Judgment Day, Broken Mirror, and then Chandelier. Like these songs are very good. Chandelier is actually one of the softer moments on the album. Um, and that it closes off the album pretty well. I mean, I wish I would have had a third chorus, but that's just a pet peeve of mine. But the song works really well, I think. Um, and yeah, there's a lot of like guest collaborations on the album. First off is Brain Dead with House of Protection, and I'm not gonna lie, this isn't one of my favorite songs on the album. Like I said, this one was the one that kind of went for a more of a hardcore thing, but I kind of feel like lyrically it doesn't exactly like do it any favors, but it works okay. I think it's a decent song. Like I think House of Protection does a good job on this track, and I think they have something out coming pretty soon. I don't know if it's an album or EP, but it's definitely coming out. I think they're a new band to look out for, obviously. Then the next one, Judgment Day with Amira El Feki, if I'm saying that correctly. And she's pretty good. She's had some albums out. She's had album EPs actually, like Skin to Skin, which I thought were pretty unique. Like she's more alternative, like metal ish, and I think she does good on the track. Um, yeah, and I think like in terms of like female vocalists collaborating with like bands and stuff, I think this is a pretty good one. I think she is a really good up and comer in her particular scene, and yeah, the track works very well. But I think Broken Mirror might be one of my favorite songs on the album, along with Everything Ends, and even like Whiplash or Black Hole. Like I think like Broken Mirror, they have a really strong chorus on this one. I really like the chorus. I really like the beat, the melody on it. Like, and Yeah, just a strong track. I feel like this is probably the strongest track on the album, if I were to be completely honest. This is how you do kind of that radio active rock metalcore kind of sound right, in my opinion. Like that kind of Bring Me the Horizon, kind of like modern day Bring Me the Horizon sound. And you do it like really well, and you do it to where it's applicable to everybody, you know? And yeah, they do a really good job with that. And there are some complaints that I have about the album. For one, like I could have done with a little less screaming on certain tracks. Like, to be honest, like I'm not saying that it should have been like the heavy songs obviously need the scream, but tracks like Chandelier or Broken Mirror, they kind of don't need it. But it works in Broken Mirror a little bit. But like tracks like Everything Ends and Chandelier especially, I feel like they could have benefited without like the shoehorned in screaming vocals necessarily. I feel like they could have done really well. Like it doesn't really give you like a moment to breathe necessarily. Like it seems like they want to just go heavy all the time without being soft. And I feel like they've done that. They've been soft before. I mean, like what was that song on Holy Hell that was really good? I think they did that on one of the songs. I think I Wasted Him. I think that one probably had some scream vocals in it too, but like they did that better there. I think the execution was better on that track. Even on a track like Dead Butterflies, I don't care for that track, but like they didn't like scream on it. Like I don't remember like I've only heard that song once, but because it wasn't really one of the best moments on that album for those that wish to exist, but it's still it's they can do it. It's just they can do whatever they want. It's just that like my personal like thing is like they could have just had given those tracks more room to breathe, but at the same time they're fine the way they are, in my opinion. And yeah, that's basically what it is with those songs. There's not really much in the way of complaints on this particular album. I do think that there's some songs obviously that are better than others. I would rather listen to Broken Mirror or Whiplash or even Curse more than I would a track like Evil Eyes or Seeing Red, which those songs are kind of just mediocre. Like they're not don't have really much to offer like lyrically. But again, this is a pretty solid album in my opinion. Like this is another pretty solid Architect album. This one probably will age pretty decently over time, I feel like, unlike the classic Symptoms of a Broken Spirit, which to be honest, I don't really remember much from that album other than Tear Gas and some moments on some songs. Like I don't really remember that album that much, and that's probably a detriment to that album, but I feel like I'll remember this album enough to be honest. Um but yeah, score wise, this is probably getting a mid 8 to a like around a mid 8 is probably what I'm thinking. Like I was thinking a lower 8, but like I'm thinking mid 8 just kind of to be nice to this album. And yeah, I think it's a pretty solid album. Definitely not one of Architect's best for sure, like I've said many times in this review, but obviously this is a pretty solid album. Go check it out. So tell me what you think in the comment section down below. As always, this is Scamp the Wolf signing out. Take care.